Hello everyone, my name is Umesh Syed. Today we are going to discuss about two-way communication between server and client in Java. For connecting the server and client, we use socket and server socket classes in Java. The client in socket programming must know the two information, IP address of server and port number. Here we are going to make two-way communication between a server and client. What is a socket class? A socket class is simply an endpoint for communication between the machines. The socket class can be used to create a socket. So let's see our PPT. What is a server? A server is a computer program or device that provides a service to another computer program and its user, also known as the client. In a data center, the physical computer that a server program runs on is also frequently referred to as a server. Next, what is a client? A client is any computer hardware or software device that requests access to a service provided by a server. Clients are typically seen as the requesting program or user in a client service architecture. So, some socket class methods are method public input stream get input stream header. This method returns the input stream attached with this socket. To create a server, sorry, establishing the two-way communication between server and client in Java. It is possible to send data from the server and receive a response from the client. Similarly, the client can also send and receive data to and from. Below are the various steps to do so. We need additional streams both at the server and client. For example, to receive data into the server, it is a better idea to use a buffer reader object as shown in the following code snippet. Input stream object is equal to s dot get input stream. The next one is buffer reader br. You know this. Then read and relay methods of the buffer reader object can be used to read data. To send data from the client, we can take the help of a data or string class. You can see the syntax below. Then to write the bytes, method, write bytes of the data output string class can be used to send a string in the form of a group bytes. To establish the two-way communication between a client and server program, following steps. First step is to create the server program. Let's create a class named server2.java to create a server such that a server receives data from the client using a buffer reader object and then sends a reply to the client using print stream object. So we can see this program. We are writing this in the package unit 2. These are the important packages we have imported. Our class name is server2. In this we can expect some IO exceptions. So we have thrown IO exception. Declaring a server socket with a port 8008 and a class socket class s is equal to accept. Here the accept method accepts the request from the client. Print stream. This print stream object ps sends the data to the socket using s.get output stream. Next a buffer reader which takes the input from the socket and br. Another buffer reader kb which takes the input from our keyboard. When it's true, system it prints the string. So as soon as we complete our program, we should close the connections named ps print stream dot close and the another two buffer reader streams and the server socket and the socket. Finally exit from the system. Next one is step 2 is creating the client program. Let's create a client named client2.java which first connects to a server, then starts the communication by sending a string to the server. The server sends a response to the client When exit is typed at the client side, a program terminates. Here is the program for the client. We have the program in the package unit 2. We have imported the necessary classes. Next here client 2 class name. A socket class s is equal to new. Here we are using our system for both server and client. So I have given localhost the port 8008 which has the same port in our server. The port should be same between our server and client. Here we take the data output stream object device buffer header BR and another buffer header KB to take the input from the keyboard. Here also whenever we complete a program we should execute these commands like dos.close here.close and all the open commands should be closed. So we have written the program. I have written the program in the Eclipse. Port numbers can be a 4-digit port number for communication between the client and server. You may also choose any other ports for the client. This is our program. This is server 2.java and this is a client 2.java. Just keep a note on this. In this two-way communication, a client program creates a socket on its end of the communication and attempts to connect that socket to a server. When the connection is made, the server creates a socket object on its end of the communication. The client and server can now communicate by writing to and reading from the sockets. Client server is a relationship in which one program requests a service or a resource from another. Client makes a request for a service from the service. So let's do this in a terminal. I'm opening a terminal here. I have opened two terminals, first one for the client and the second one for the server. Let's maximize this. So first one for this terminal. First we have to go to the location where we have saved the files. So cd command is for change directory, and this is the location where I have saved the program. Dell Eclipse workspace. Here we can dir command is to view the files in the directory. Here we have client2.class and client2.java. I have already executed this Java file, so it has a client2.class. So for in this terminal we use server. So javac is a command is used for compiling the Java program. Space file name. Our file name is server2.java. Here I have already executed this command, though I have again coming to this side. Now to send cd space our path. Here I am compiling client2.java. Here both the files are compiled, so just run these commands. To run the Java class, we should type java space filename dot java server2 dot class. Sorry, how to change this? port number again 8080. We can give whatever port number we need as a wish, but both the port numbers should be same. I'll save this too, and I'm recompiling these two files. Java space server2.java. It's successfully compiled. Next, coming to the client side, space client2.java. Both the files are successfully compiled. So we run this Java space server2.java. As we see, whenever we run this class file, it's waiting. It's in the waiting state. So coming to the client side, client2.java. So we can take input here like uh, Java. I have given Java as input from here client side. Whenever I click the click the enter, the string we have written in the client side was redirected to the server. You can see here Java, and in the server side we have output as Java. So now we can't edit here because it is the wait state and the server gets the input like here Java programming. I already entered D in the previous session, so here whenever I click here, that redirects here in this side. Python. Whatever we type in the client side, that will be redirected to the server. You can see this Java. I have given my name here. So in this way we can communicate with both server and the client, two-way communication.